Welcome to Luxuriously Poor, and thank you guys for stopping by and keep stocking and storing. I want to share a recipe with you today. I very rarely make it, but I decided I would today because I had an extremely small amount of hamburger meat left over from some hamburgers that I had made. I don't make hamburgers very often. I don't even care much for hamburger meat. But I have family members who really do. And so sometimes I make it for them. And there was about a quarter pound of hamburger meat left over. I didn't know what I was going to do with it because it was such a small amount. And then I decided on doing this. Do you hear the roosters carrying on? Because they definitely are. I also had a squash left over. And I chopped that squash up and these purple onions. Now I'm going to put some of the purple onions into the hamburger meat. Now you can't really see it very well in this bowl. It's about a quarter pound of hamburger meat. Maybe slightly more, I don't know for sure, but I'm telling you, it's not much at all. And like I said, I'm going to put the purple onion, but I'll also put some white rice in this. A handful. You can put a handful and a half. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. And then the spices that you want, that's also up to you. Garlic and parsley are two spices that I use quite a bit. And also salt. And so that's what I'm going to use in this. I'm going to just pour. I don't measure. I like garlic a lot. If you want to measure, you would. I would start with probably a tablespoon and go from there. If you don't like garlic powder, don't put it. If you don't like parsley, don't put it. If all you want, just put salt and pepper. I am not going to put egg or any kind of binding like breadcrumbs or anything else. I'm not going to put that. I'm just putting salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and parsley. That's it, and the onion and rice. Now this is Sopa the Fideo. And I've got some lard that I've got in here. And I'm going to put about half of this bag of Sopa de Fideo into this lard. Now you can use whatever fat you want. I don't use vegetable oils, corn oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. I don't use any of that. I only use lard and olive oil. And that's it. Now, I also added some purple onion to this. Yes, it tastes good with the onion. And I'm just browning this. Browning it, to me, helps the sopa, the pasta, from being so starchy as it boils. You know how spaghetti, when you boil it, it's kind of the water is real starchy? Browning this keeps it from getting starchy. I added that tomato. I keep the powdered kind on hand. It's like a spice because you may not always have a fresh tomato you can blend up. And it's got other spices in it too. Now I'm going to add, remember that squash I chopped up? Now's the time to put it in there because you want to cook that with the sopa while the sopa is cooking also. You want to cook the two together. Now on the back burner back there, you see I've got some water going. I'm going to put the lid on this and let it get going and, start to boil and cook. I added my salt. You can taste it later to see if it has enough salt and add more if it doesn't. Now I just took some balls, made them into very tiny balls, just kind of squeezed them in my hand a little bit to push them together, and I'm going to throw them in here. Okay? I want the water hot. It doesn't have to be boiling, but simmering. Because I want this to cook a little first. First to drive some of the blood off of it and some of the grease. You know that brown stuff that floats on the top from meat that's blood? I don't want that in my sopa. So I'm going to slightly brown these. Not for very long, just a couple of minutes. Like 2 minutes. And that will drive off some of the grease and also the blood off of them so that you don't have all that brown stuff floating in your sopa. That's what I'm doing. Now look at this. Doesn't this look good? I'm going to add these meatballs. I have 9 meatballs. They're not real big. These are hot dog prongs, and you can see they fit right in it. They're not huge at all, but there's 9 of them, and that will give 3 people 3 meatballs in a bowl of this. Now, I added about 3 to 4 cups of water. You want this to be kind of soupy. And as it cooks, it actually thickens up. And so you want to have enough water in it. I could tell you to put 3 cups of water in there, and it for you may turn out really thick because you may be, oh, I don't want it that watery. So cook it to your taste, the thickness that you want. If it's too much water, just start off with 2 cups and take it from there as it cooks, and then add another cup. I have 3 cups of water here, okay? And for me, that's fine. Now, I may add a little more water as it goes. Okay, here it is. It is now ready, and we'll serve ourselves a bowl.